if you don't change your mind, if you are not good community leaders, all I will be teaching you will be nothing.
Looking at what's happening in the world, you see wars here and there, and maybe even a pending one. What's the problem with the people who do not change?
Beautiful ones
are not
yet born. I like that book. Now the question is, when are they going to be born? That's the question.
That's a very big question.
Traveled in Georgia, I traveled to Pennsylvania, and I traveled to Washington DC. So your life is not yours; it's for other people. We learn English not because we want it, but because the world wants it. So Alexis is Alexis, as you said. That's the name. That's my first name. My last name is Arakaza. I'm a Burundian and an educator. I'm one of these community leaders and professional in teaching English as a foreign language. I did different trainings here in Burundi and abroad on peace building and governance in East Africa. I did that in Tanzania. I did peace building and conflict prevention in Rwanda. Young African Leaders Initiative, yearly in Kenya. I did many programs. I also recently attended a very prestigious program called Humphrey Fellowship Program in the United States, where I spent more than a year to learn more about teaching English as a foreign language. And today, I'm also the coordinator of a program called English Access Microscholarship Program, which is a U.S. Department of State funded program working at Ubuntu Village of Life. This is a non-profit organization that works in Mugamba Commune, Bururi Province. But besides, also I work as a high school English teacher.
Sure.
Yeah.
What is this Ubuntu Village of Life? What is it about?
Ubuntu Village of Life is a non-profit organization, as I said, working not only in health as many people think, because we have a clinic, a polyclinic today, which was a clinic before. But after the donation of the equipment from the US Embassy and other partners, now we are a polyclinic and we have enough equipment to deal with any form of pathology. But people think that we are working as a hospital or as a clinic, but we have a holistic approach of helping the humanity. Basically, Ubuntu Village of Life has many fields, including education, including food security, including agriculture, including sport, including peace building, including STEAM, like IT, so including agriculture. So it's just we try to help people to develop their full potentiality in order to avoid that they come to seek for medication after they get ill. So we start helping them before they get ill. So that's why we invest much effort in different domains that help people to be healthy.
When we say community development, how do you take that? What's your take on that?
Oh, this is a very interesting question. Community development. Many people maybe they don't understand. Or they understand the way I don't. The definition of community development, people will think about having clean water, having good buildings, having good schools, good hospitals. That's part of it. That's really part of it. But for me, it's not enough. Because community development involves also development of the humanity. Development then involves also that particular leadership.
That Ubuntu.
That Ubuntu, exactly.
Sure.
Yes, but you got it.
That's that dignity, or that Ubuntu.
Dignity. I finished my classes. I traveled in many states, but I was based in Tennessee. I was attending Vanderbilt University, one of the most prestigious universities of the United States. And I finished my task, and then I came back. I'm implementing what I learned, as I promised to the government of the United States that paid for me the scholarship. When people saw me coming and said, "Hey, man, are you crazy? How can you go to the United States and they come back?" I thought most of the times the journalists ask me this question, I say, "Yeah, okay." There are people who go and then start lying and say, "Hey, I'm a refugee, I'm a politician, I'm what. I hate that thing. And I say, if we want this country, development of our community, let's develop ourselves.
Sure.
Let's change our minds. That's all. I'm teaching, I always tell my students, I'm teaching English, but make sure what we want today is not English speakers because we have many. What the world lacks today is not about mathematicians because we have plenty of them. It's not about physicians because we have everything.
Of them, yeah.
Now we have artificial intelligence that is doing almost everything.
Sure.
So technology is good today. I mean, I don't mean that we no longer need more. We do, because as the world moves, we have to move with it.
Sure.
But I tell always my students, if you don't change your mind, if you are not good community leaders, all I will be teaching you will be nothing. That's why in my lessons I have to include that thing of wisdom, of leadership, at least 5 minutes. And my students know it.
Looking at what's happening in the world, you see wars here and there, and maybe even pending ones. Do you see that there is any progress in the change of the people? Why don't they change? What's the problem with the people who do not change?
Maybe that question might be a little bit difficult to answer because this needs research.
Sure.
And see from when to when, what happened,
and reason behind.
But
or any progress. Can you see that there is a progress? Do you see there is hope?
There is a writer, a Ghanaian writer, whose name is Arma Aikwe, who wrote a novel in 1968. The novel was titled "The Beautiful Ones
Are Not
Yet Born." I like that book. I like it. I read it like every time that I find an opportunity. And now the question is, when are they going to be born? That's the question.
That's a very big question.
Are not yet born. Anyway, that was in 1968. Hope that today, some beautiful.
Were they born, or do we see some? Maybe we don't know.
So actually, now the reason of the conflicts that are around the world, that's selfishness. That's all. Selfishness. Why do you love yourself more than everybody?
Sure.
Some conflicts will be between countries and other countries, or the people, between people and the people. So, by the way, if you're working as an individual, like me, I'm convinced that my life I am what I am because other people have invested in many things in me. Starting from my parents, who gave birth to me. If they were not there, would I be the one I am today? No. When I was born, there is the government that gave me the first vaccine for free. For free. I would die just after birth. When I finished the university, I started my leadership journey. I told you I've attended many scholarships and conferences around the world.
We're gonna get back on that.
Yes, and it was paid by other people.
Sure.
Other people are paying me so that I can live. So your life is not yours. It's for other people.
Sure.
So try to pay back. That's what how I define leadership. To feel that what you are is not you. If you are strong, it's not you.
Okay.
Other people made you strong. So try to make others strong.
All right.
Yes. So there's no way I can pay back what the government has invested in me. I cannot. There's no way I can pay to my parents. I can't. The U.S. Embassy that has invested billions, Burundian francs, for me personally, how can I go and disgrace those people?
Whatever you're doing, what keeps you motivated or keep on doing what you're doing? What's the reason behind the courage, the everything? Because we know that you encounter problems and the challenges, the setbacks. You see, anything that keeps you motivated. Okay,
thank you so much. This is a really also nice question. So, my passion then is to work for community development. Everything I think is, how can I get this change? I have an organization, my own organization that I'm funding. It is under registration. Which is called the TIES. ties this together for inclusive education and solutions, because education has many angles, and if you don't tackle all these angles, and then we focus only on teaching, which might be one of the reasons why education fails. If education fails in our countries, because most of educators target on teaching, and teaching is not education. It's just only one angle of education. So we have so many angles. So with that organization, I think we go further and also face other problems related to education. Now, what are the challenges? Resistance of people. If there is a big weakness we have Burundians, resistance. When someone brings a good project, people will start fighting you. Yes, they start fighting you. And many of the programs that we run, sometimes, I remember even when we started Access Scholarship, it was not easy even. We bring a good project, but people will fight it. Of course, the lack of financial means for some projects, because I have plenty of projects. And when it comes to implementation, but I always say funds is the last point of a project. I know. That's why even when I was enumerating, I put it at the last, because this is not a very, very serious problem, though it is serious, but not too much. But the first, like collaborators, bring a project, people don't collaborate, and it's a good one. Say, hey, you are going to get rich. You see?
Yeah, because of this you are bringing something, you're gonna just get you rich.
Yeah,
and
you're going to be rich.
These are the challenges.
And so if I become rich, what is the problem? The program is released each year. Each year in April or May, and it finishes. Mostly they give 3 months of application. And for example, for the 2025-26 participants now are
applying.
No, they have finished. They are. I mean, the review process is so long. They take 1 year. Yeah, it's very selective. It's very, very selective, because mostly there are 150 places for the whole world.
The whole world?
Yes. Yeah. So if Burundi can get like 1 or 2 people, this is already a big number. Yes, because there are countries that financially contribute to the program, that are given more than 10 people. Because I remember when I was there, countries like South Korea, they had many people. Countries like Pakistan, they have around 10 people. So imagine there are countries that have 10 people in 150. So then when we applied, we were 6,400 applicants, according to what they told us. 6,400 from 130 countries. Yes. And we were selected, were 149 from 90 countries. So,
including Burundi.
Of course, including Burundi. We had 2 Burundians.
You were 2 Burundians together there? Okay, that's good.
Yeah, yes. And the program is run since 1978. Yes, 78. And it's named after a parliamentarian named Humphrey.
Okay.
Yeah. By the way, this is one of the programs supported by the U.S. Department of State. There are many.
The 2 years that you spent in the States, what was the experience from there in that program? Maybe the places you visited, how you saw the Americans, the ways of life.
Because when you are new in a new culture, so it's really difficult to get adjusted to communication to the culture, because we see people with different cultures. By the way, we had a class called cultural shift. So you need to learn how we.
It's a kind of adjustment.
Yeah.
How can it get
and they will say, hey, if you see an American meeting you and smiling at you, for example, don't think that person loved you. No.
Sure. It may mean something
else. It's culture. It's all. So when you meet an American and you hug the person, don't shake your hand.
Sure.
They don't know how to shake hand. And it's a culture. And it's shocking, by the way, if you do it to someone and someone does not even raise a hand, it's shocking. So, but professionally, it's really a good place to live. It's a very professional place. Different universities that I attended, because I attended the University of Kansas for 3 months, a little bit less than 3 months, like 2 months and something. And then I went to Vanderbilt University for the whole academic year. And so they are very professional, good teachers, teaching materials. Everything is good. It's well set. Good places, very clean, and the electricity is there every day. Internet's full. So, I mean, there are good working conditions. Yes. And also when I traveled in different places, including Georgia for meetings, I traveled in Georgia, I traveled to Pennsylvania, and I traveled to Washington, D.C., because we had also presidential welcome, because as the program is funded by the government. The government. So the president should come and welcome us.
See the people from across the world.
Yes, from that program. Sure. But at that time, the President Biden was not there. But his the Secretary of State, Anthony Blinken, came and they welcomed to the White House. So near the White, we did not enter the White House, but it was we visited at least the compound of the White House, and then we spent like a week with the Anthony Blinken, and in a very highly professional setting. I think also you know one.
Yeah, I know one. It's a Brotherhood.
Yes,
the Brotherhood.
Yeah, that one that you attended, the Brotherhood English Club.
That, yeah.
Now today it's no longer Brotherhood. They changed the name. Now it's called
Academic.
It's
now Academic.
Yes.
I know how it changed.
So
I remember that back in 2017, 2018, 2016 also. Yeah.
So I'm very glad to be interviewed by
someone who
went through my club.
That's how I got to know you.
Yes.
That's how I got to know you.
I'm a founder of that particular club and many other clubs.
It's now Academic. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's very active. We learn English not because we want it, but because the world wants it.
You said that about 2 billion of people across the world are speaking English. Yeah.
So that's the motivation.
Sure.
And then that I call other people, just reach English centers. There are many.
Sure.
We have many English centers. But again, as I told you, Burundians seem to be
lagging behind. Sure.
Yes. How can you tell me that you are a lawyer with an experience of 20 years and the African Union wants you, but you cannot apply because of English language? I remember when I was in Arusha, Tanzania, for a program. It was 2014. We applied again for that program, and when I arrived there, they asked me the question, "Hey Alexis, what's wrong with the Burundi? We don't see applicants. Other countries who have full of thousands of applicants, but you, 10 people, 20 applicants, not those who were selected. If you don't speak English today, I'm sorry. There is something you lack. You are missing something."
Sure.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Mr. Alexis. It has been a pleasure to be with you, to see you again, maybe sitting with you and doing a discussion with you. It has been, I think, more than 5 years or 6 years, because I remember we're together back in 2017, back in 2018 together, and to see you sitting with me today, it has been a pleasure. And your words, your insights gave more meaning to our discussion. It has been a pleasure, Mr. Alexis.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here. Okay. And please, if you need me any moment, anytime,
we'll be glad to be back.
Don't hesitate.
And we
just send me a small message on WhatsApp. That's all.
That's a very big promise. And thank you so much, and see you next time.
Thank you so much.